Hi, it's Darnell with Wave Recipes. Today I'm going to be cooking up some almond flour brownies in the Kalorik 8-quart touchscreen air fryer. And we'll see how this basket air fryer does with that, and I think I might have a way to keep things from getting overcooked too much on the top. But we'll see how it goes. And let's get cooking right now. Okay, so to try and do this in a way that the top won't get burnt over, I'll be showing you what's going on back here in a moment. But now I want to go through the ingredients. I'll go through the dry ingredients first, then the wet ingredients. I'm going to start with the sweetener because I'm using something, I guess you could say, is special here. You can use a 1/4 cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice. What I am using is a organic monk fruit extract powder. You only need a little bit of that to get the same effect that you would with other granulated sweeteners. So I've got 3 teaspoons of it. Basically 1/8 of a teaspoon of it measures up to a teaspoon of basically like sugar. But this is like 0 calorie, all natural, organic. So I've got 3 teaspoons of it. Remember, 1/8 of a teaspoon of it would measure out to 1 teaspoon. And I've got 8 whole teaspoons of it, which should measure out to a 1/4 cup. I've got a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder. I've got 2 cups of blanched almond flour, 2 teaspoons of guar gum, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. For the wet ingredients, I'm going to be stirring up 2 large chicken eggs. I've got a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to be using a 1/4 cup of honey. I also have some freshly melted organic butter here. So basically I'm just going to go ahead and pour that right in with the eggs, and I'll get it stirred up with the eggs and all. But I'm going to get the wet stuff mixed up in the wet bowl, get dry stuff mixed up in the dry bowl, and then we'll move forward from that point. Alright, so I've got the dry stuff in the dry bowl, the wet stuff is stirred up here in the wet bowl, and I want to explain what I'm going to be doing as far as trying to mitigate things getting overcooked on the top of the brownies. I'm going to be using a ramekin. Even though a 9-inch round bake pan will fit into this 8-quart basket, I'm using a ramekin just because it's a little smaller and it'll be easier for me to like kind of reach in and get out than a 9-inch round bake pan, which is going to be like just kind of close to the edges even though it fits. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to be using, this is from like a pressure cooker, one of those like little like mini trivet type things or little mini stand type things from a pressure cooker, so you can probably get these at any store. And I'm going to put it on the ramekin so there's some airflow. So putting that into the basket, there's nothing in the basket right now, just so you can see. So I'm putting that into the bottom of the basket like that. So that's like that. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and after I get things mixed up, I'll put the ramekin into the basket on that little metal stand there. And I'm going to take what would normally be the kind of like trivet, or I guess you could say a little crisper tray or whatever, from the air fryer, and going to be putting that over the top of this like so. Try and mitigate the heat a little bit from overcooking things. And I know you might be thinking, well, you could use like aluminum foil over the top, but then there'd be absolutely no airflow. And for you who know about the toxin issue with aluminum, you know that's not really a good choice. Of course, there could be things on the little trivet or little air fry grate there, and of course in the interior of that are concerns as well. But not going with the aluminum foil is basically what I'm getting at. And so I'm just going to get the wet into the dry, going to get things mixed up, and then get it into the ramekin. And as I get things mixed together, I will say, you know, I'm not saying my recipe is the perfectly best, healthier recipe for this thing. I really, you know, I do try and keep on trying, but for anyone who wants to go with other ingredients and such as your preference, that is fine for you. But I can say that from my own experiences in life and health, I try and mitigate things and try and do some things that I can from the benefits that I've gathered and the benefits that I've personally experienced from my efforts. So I continue regardless if anybody likes what I do or not. And for those who don't, you probably should find another place to enjoy. That's all I have to say. And so I'm going to finish mixing this stuff up here and get it on into the ramekin. I think I've got it pretty well mixed together here. Yeah. Alright. That's pretty good. Try to make sure I don't have like any little clumps of anything that didn't mix well, you know. Sometimes you might get a little clump of the chocolate or clump of something else, so try to make sure it's all mixed really well. Just kind of scoop it in there. There we go. Get all that extra goodness, we'll say. So now that I've got it in the ramekin, just going to try and basically smooth it out so that it's smooth and flat as possible across the bottom of this ramekin. And I'll try and, if I don't already, in the link in the video description, nothing in this video is sponsored, but I do believe I have like a cooking accessory section. I'll try and see if I can put these ramekins there if they're not there already. But anything that you buy through my Amazon shop link, you pay the same price, help the channel. And nothing in this video was given to me by anyone, no freebies or any of that type of stuff. I actually paid for it with my money. So, there we go. We got that together. Sticking that on in here, like so. Now to try and get this, I guess basket bottom thingy over. So, we've got it in there. It's kind of hard, I can't really show it to you, but you can imagine how it kind of looks. Now that everything's inside, I've turned the light off, moved the camera a little bit so you can see. Turning the cooker on, hitting the bake button. Going to take temperature up to 350. For cooking time, this is going to be the tricky part, but I'm going to go with, let's see, we'll try 20 to start, and then we'll just add from there as needed. But we'll see how things are with 20. It's going to be tough getting that trivet out to even do like a field test, because for me it's easier to tap the actual dough and be able to determine than it is trying to stick a knife in and see if it comes out clean. I know that, you know, over 800 videos here on this channel, I know about that. I like to tap it, okay? I can tap things and tell how well they are without sticking anything in it. And that's how I do. But I'm going to hit start and let it go ahead and run for 20 minutes. Alright, I've let it run for the full 20 minutes, didn't touch a thing. Going to let it finish, and then it does its little kind of like cool down to cool off for a moment. I'm going to let it do that little sequence for a moment. Alright, so pulling this on out and try and see what I can do to get this thing out. I'll have to probably use this knife. I don't want to scratch anything or mess it up, but that's cool. I got it up there. Alright, just going to take these tongs and set it over here on this little rack there. So things on the top still look kind of cooked, but not. Yeah, I think it's done in just 20 minutes. I think it's done. Let me see if I can get this thing on out of here. Let me get my gloves. I'm going to have to move it fast because I don't want to burn my hands, but I want you to kind of see how it looks there. I'm going to basically take it out, set it aside, let it cool down. Alright, so I gave it about 30 minutes to cool down. It's still warm on the bottom some, but you can get a good look at it here. And I think overall, compared to what this air fryer has done even in the initial review, if you haven't seen it, check that out, see what it did to the cookies. I mean, without that cover being on top there, I think this would have been really, really dark on top. So I think it did help some. I mean, we got some darkness, but I think it's more comparable with what I've seen from like air fryer ovens. So I think it did help. I think the method worked out. And so that's the method I'll be using when I'm doing this type of cook in this type of cooker. But I'm trying to get a piece out here. I didn't spray the bottom with extra light olive oil, which I definitely should have done and could have done, but neglected to do. So we'll see. Well, it's coming out pretty easy. So there you go. See over there? See around there? It's all done. So you got a good cooking all the way through. And so we'll go ahead and we'll do a taste test with this here. So thank God for brownie. Let's do a taste. Here we go. Alright, tastes good, tastes very good. This method that I showed to keep things from getting overcooked on the top, definitely a winner, definitely the way to go. Just 20 minutes, no preheat, it did the job. The monk fruit extract powder, it tastes good. So just a little bit of it goes a long way. It's more expensive, but a little bit of it goes a long way. It tastes good. Everything turned out well. Definitely like it. And so in the video description, there are lots of ways to help the channel, such as the cookbook, merch membership, donations, all of that good stuff. You can always check out my blog, superwaveovenrecipes.com. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification icon, and good eating.